Hi, hello, it's me, Hemi. I'm gonna venture out a little bit on this video since I'm in that stage of YouTube, I guess. Instead of doing John Doe gameplay, I'm going to be analyzing my own games. I'll talk about what's going in my head, thought process, etc. So hopefully you can get better at John Doe. And I have 3 videos here, or 3 games in this little compilation. And also, right before we get started, this video idea is inspired off of Ashes, so I must give credit where it's due. Anyways, let's get started. Got a little visual here. Okay, so this game, as I said earlier, I had 120 ping, and I kind of like this server, so I had my voice chat on. So it's some 120 ping gameplay. Don't expect much from there. We're at work at a pizza place. Doesn't matter when you do it. I didn't really thoroughly look here. You gotta look at where the survivors. So we got a Tap, Dusakar, Shadleski, two guests, and N7. And N7 as John Doe is a prime target because they are really good at clearing footprints. So you got to target them really fast. And with this footprint here, normally I don't footprint here, but there is a generator here. So blocking off this path and a generator is very good to do. And sometimes I don't really see this happen most times, but sometimes I see people or like lower level John Does, those just purely footprint generators. Don't do that. I think a lot of people know now, just don't purely footprint generators, as you know, it's only 3, 6, 9, 12 seconds off the clock. It's fine. Unless you can get like a path blocked and a generator, that's when you do it. But if you can only get the generator, don't put the footprint there. Like that area, this area right here, I'll go back. Here that has that really good generator, and there is, I think, it's on glass houses. All right, so skipping 5 seconds. I'll place on my second footprint right here, where I can rewind to the precise point. I just like this footprint. It eliminates this part of the loop, and just, I don't know, it's an all-arounder footprint. Yeah, okay, what's happening with the video? What the heck? So here I'm going to get some damage on the Dusakar and maybe zone them off over here. But I don't get any of the damage. I don't know how that doesn't do any damage. Like, they're literally right through the spike. And I get a hit on Dusakar. Survivor's cornered. Whenever you're a killer... Okay, I got juked a little bit there. Whenever you're playing, you gotta make sure you have good pathing, as I'm doing here. I'm half on half predicting where the survivor is going to go, so that's why I have good pathing. Luckily, I killed the top strip wire there. Hit the M1, and Dusakar is dead. We got a very good target right off. Okay. So now, yeah, I have my voice chat on, so you're gonna hear this. Alright, so this guy's just walking towards me. So I start chase. I realized I hit the block, and I immediately 404. This is a habit of mine. It's not the best per se. Not all guests parry. We should do in that situation. If you hit a block, you should just try to learn them. If they parry immediately, and that's what they usually do, if you keep on hitting their blocks because they're just good, or you just keep on hitting blocks, that's when you parry. But if they don't, that's when you don't parry. And they just have to punch right here. You're getting the 2-second stun. It's really fine. It's only a 2-second stun. Going to the killer door over here is a death sentence. It is easily footprintable. And footprintable? No. Trappable. And what I see some people do is they put a footprint here. In places like this, and also the little mountain thing on glass houses, it's just not the best. I'd rather use it somewhere else. It's more just a personal thing. And here, guests can do some really odd things with charge. I have a different round, which I think it's not in this video. It's not in this video, where a guest charges off of a, like, they use the M1 adrenaline boost and the spikes to just, you know, get out of a trap. I thought that was pretty unique. But here, I curve my traps here. That felt so weird doing because of the high ping. And like a footprint cleared by an actual person because the highlight is yellow. I'm expecting this guest is going to charge here, so I dodge. But I still get hit anyway. I would honestly try to get corruption damage at least, but that just doesn't happen. I'm free to M1 here because they do not have the block up. It hasn't been 30 seconds yet. Here, good pathing, just trying to cut the survivor off. And they're not, alright, they're not going to go back here. and I get the kill. Simple enough. Alright, I'm gonna Okay, I don't replace a footprint here. I have downtime. I should have probably replaced it. And there's that 7 right there. I keep on pursuing Nishaletsky. And Nishaletsky is going to prove that they're pretty good at the game. I thought that was an actual person. Exactly what I said. So I'm trying to recoup here with 4-4, get a trap. And this guest is just, you know, I know there's a house over there. And I don't think it protrudes out far enough. But I tried trapping there, so they're stuck over here. And I somehow got 48 damage, and they're also trapped over here. Whenever a survivor is cornered, let me rewind real quick. Like, there's a survivor, just watch it again. I go to the survivor, I know they're cornered, they're trying to run towards me. Hit them with the M1. I immediately double back, because most survivors, they know that the hit boost exists from getting hit by an M1, and they'll try to get out. So, you know, preemptively doubling back is a good option. And so they go here. I thought they were going to double back, but there's the taps subspace thing was there. So I got immediately hit by that. Tap is a very annoying support. You should also get them out as soon as possible. But I find the Shedletsky instead of going back for the guest, who was on 11 HP, by the way. I somehow got slowness from that. I don't know what the spike was. I guess I was like panicking or something, trying to play Sniper Doe, but never play Sniper Doe if you're on high ping. It doesn't work, trust. Oh, video lags, and I don't even hit the spikes anyway. Why am I using footprint when the clone is right there? I don't know why. Do not use footprints when a clone is nearby, because it's just gonna step right into that and clear it. And it doesn't clear. Nice. Okay. This guy's talking. Just good pathing in general. Killer pathing. Okay, I don't know why I don't think this is because of ping. It might just be a bug, but the corruption damage just doesn't work. They started my corruption trail clearly, and still they didn't get it. And Tap subspace is right there. I hate you, Tap. All right, you see the foot? I don't know. I walked through that and still didn't get slowness. That's something. And I used 4-4 just to see where the N7 is, because it's a pretty trappable area. And I see that they're using cool GUI. Must have gone up. Go for the gamble here with the corrupt energy, and I get stunned by Shedletsky. Luckily, because it wasn't late enough, I get the unstoppable boost, as you see here. And I predict that the N7 was going to go over here, but they didn't. And then I lost them. I was thinking originally that was a clone, but then I saw the voice chat thing, which that immediately gives away that it's not a clone. You know, voice chat thing, you gotta use everything to your advantage, as in Forsaken. Right here, I was trying to get a little trap here, just in case, you know, but they rerun because they do not want to be trapped. Relatable. No simple stuff. I'm thinking here that they're going to clone parry. Guess misses, and where that looks like it's going to hit. I got cut off on that. You do not want to get cut off on anything, especially as killer. You know, especially as anyone. Luckily, N7's clone wasn't directly trailing them, so I do get the kill. Okay, I don't know what that was. I have downtime, so I replace my footprint. Time is running a little bit low, so I just take a little bit. I hastily put my footprints up. Alright, I see guys over here. They healed with a medkit, and I decided to put my third footprint here. More of just like, I'm putting my footprint here more than a generator. Okay, and this guest is going over here. They're somewhat cornered, I guess, because this area, these cars over here, really easily trappable. Digital footprint right there, and I'm right here. They go back, I cut them off. They go over there, they just get trapped. And this is exactly what they do. They go over here. And something as John Doe, you need to, when using spikes, you need to make sure your camera is smooth. You see how these spikes are so smooth here? You never want to make like sudden jagged movements, because the trap could potentially, you know, just not trap. I don't know how to explain stuff. I'm sorry. And even though it didn't trap because I pre-ran, I still got 24 damage and speed. And I get to cut them off because of how loops work. Also, this team is a menace with clearing footprints. The N7 is dead. I'm being a little wary of a block here, and that's what happens. The hitbox is all over the place, 120 ping. When they, you know, instead of sprinting around them, you know, I always try to hit the M1 when they, like, while regenning stamina. Yeah, they might get a hit boost, but you're also regenning stamina. Shaletsky's right there. I was thinking, okay, Shaletsky's probably going to slash because they're right there, but combined with that and stun in the subspace, really, really doesn't like that. And guess you go back to the killer spawn. And so, I trap again. Alright, you're actually just going right over here this time, and you get charged, start running back, you're juking me. I suck against jukers, especially on high ping like this. And I kill the guest. Alright, so now I'm trying to, now I need to determine who I'm going to leave for last. I do not like leaving taps for last. Don't leave a tap for last. Their subspace really messes you up. And I decide over here. I kill the tap wire first. I know it's called a tripwire. I call it tap wire. Subspace. I somehow get spikes before the subspace, which is cool. And I try trapping there, but then I decide mid-spike I'm going to try getting some damage, which still traps that area off. And because I know the tap has to run over here, I, sort of cut them off. I don't know if this is a better line or worse line. I don't know. I get the hit. Because we started chasing from rather a close distance, so I just win in the stamina game. Shaletsky steps into the footprint for some reason. Why do these people keep on stepping into footprints? There's not even an N7. And because their LMS starts, I only had one footprint up. Right when it starts, I put down a footprint. Generally, you don't want to put footprints down during LMS as long as, like, you're sure you have time and it's like going directly where your path is. So here, I replace this footprint too, because I'm going this direction. Shaletsky goes over here. I look under the bus. Here, I remember when I was playing, I couldn't really see the Shaletsky there, because it's been, like, too fast looking under the bus, but I'm able to cut them off. I try to get my plan here was to get a spike, because you can spike off there, so they're cornered over to the left, but they just kept on running. They didn't want to get that little chase reset there. Speaking, don't go to the killer spawn. And now, this area too is also rather zonable. Well, if you use boxes or something. And I have a digital footprint over there, so I try to make an open zone here. And I was just rehearsing this in my head. This is more of an open zone, and what I call an open zone is a zone that's like, they're cornered, but they're a really open zone, and like a closed zone is when they're cornered, but the zone they're cornered is not as much. Open zones, you can pressure the survivor back if they don't immediately go. And in closed zones, you don't have as much of that, but you don't stall a timer as much. Okay, and I'm just regenerating my stamina here. They're juking, and I'm on high ping. That's a very bad combo for me. They double back. How did that not hit? The hitbox is in them. Look at that. Look at the hitboxes in them and still doesn't hit. That's called ping. I miraculously dodged that, even with high ping. Get the M1, regenerate some stamina, and I get the kill. Hold up, wait. Did they take... Wait. No, they didn't even take corruption damage. Yeah, maybe the visual wasn't going on. And that is the end of our first round. It's already been 13 minutes, goddamn. This next round is from March 31st. It's from nearly a month ago, or a couple weeks ago. So I don't remember this round really, so we're just gonna go through. And we are on Brendan's place. Brendan 6875935s. So this loop over here, this like U-shaped structure loop, is a very big loop. Even with the killer door there, you can cut survivors off. It's a good loop in general. So I footprint here. The optimal footprints are right here to block off that path, and right here to block off this area. And this is another area. I forgot to mention it earlier, but you can block off the generator and the path in general. So I kind of just like force them not to do the generator. Oh yeah, I forgot. 8-player team. We have an Elliot, which should be our first top priority target, and I'm yapping here about there being a lot of Jane Does. We got a guest. We got 3 guests and a noob. The general rule of thumb, at least I say in team comp, is to not have more than 2 of one survive. So there being 3 Jane Does and 3 guests is definitely something. So I put those two footprints over there, and the third optimal footprint is up there, or optimal's my footprint, really. Also here, you really need to be wary of guests, like, trying to charge you off, because it makes a lot of distance for the survivor team. And you also got to be wary of guests charging you off while you're setting up footprint. So I'm thinking they're going to charge. I set up my footprint here. They're far enough away. It's too risky for them to charge, which is a good thing for me. Jane Doe gets a stun. I use 404 air because you can spike down to this left corridor, and then they're basically trapped. Elliot is right there. They're existing. Guest charges me. I try to go for more of a closed zone here where, you know, it's just that area, so they have to go right through me. Luckily, I think it's still trapped, and I do the right thing by going for the Elliot. Oh, look, the game's not bugged! The N7. Is that the N7? I'm trying to... That's a guess. The yourself guess steps into the footprint, which is honestly fine. Yeah, there's no N7. And if you were going to clear a footprint, by the way, on the survivor team, don't do it while John Doe's into chase, because they just get speed. Alright, we're targeting the Elliot. I go for sniper because I'm on low stamina, I guess. And I actually successfully get it. Sniper is good when you successfully get damage or kill a survivor like I did there. And I think I got some damage. I got some damage on guest too, which is good. And because that yourself guest did clear that guest right there, I replaced the footprint while I have downtime. Always use your downtime to clear footprints. And noob over there clears off footprint. I don't really care though. I go for this guest. Trying to mind game the stamina game here. There's like 9 guests on me. Alright. I don't know what to think with this spike here. Let me just rewatch that. This guest misses their block. And right here, as John Doe, whenever a sentinel misses a stun or something, you see how they got corruption because I just rubbed against them? That's what you gotta do. Encircling them, yeah, you can do that. It just wastes stamina. If I was here, I would spike to my right, or I would spike to my right, or in a way where they're kind of trapped here. Like, you know, make sure that corridor there is trapped, because that footprint got cleared. But they just stepped through the footprint, and yeah, I actually successfully trap here. I use the spikes, I go to the right, and make sure that is there. Make sure that entire corridor is trapped. That's one of the main criteria of John Doe spikes. You got to make sure you actually trap and don't leave anywhere where the survivors can go. Because charge cooldown. They're cornering themselves. This is like somewhat of a zone. I don't know. And they're dead, which is nice. Okay, while I have some downtime here, I replace footprints. And you can tell by the corrupt energy cooldown that spikes are going down soon. So I might as well. Oh, wait a minute. You know what I just realized? I placed down that footprint wrong. No, I only realized that. Like, I just went through it. I just completely ignored it. And here with this Jane Doe, I zone off here, so they kind of have to go through here. And even then, if they tried going this way, they'd have to go through me. They use axe, they miss. I think that's when I realized the footprint was a little butchered. Alright, so Jane Doe. I use the speed from the footprint that noob. I did. Oh, okay. I tried dodging. I dodged into the stun. Alright, just regaining stamina here. I need to recoup here because everyone's so scattered. This is 8-player lobby shenanigans. Alright, I'm wary of the guest charge. I guess I was on charge cooldown or something, so that's fine. And this area here, this is a very good trap. Because here, if you use spike from up here, and I think survivors could probably go on the ramp and get off there, but you can trap this area here where my cursor is, and they're like basically cornered, especially with the footprint there. And Ben, that's exactly what I do. They can't get out with the thing with the ramp, but it's whatever. I cornered both of them here, and I'm going for the yourself guest here, but I keep on missing. I'm holding my right click down for dear life. They missed the block. Well, they fumbled the block. Okay, that was a stun. They tried to up video footage. I successfully dodged that stun, but I do get hit. I hit the guest block, and I'm able to parry. Nice. You got to make sure, like, you got to get good at parrying as John Doe. You got to make sure. And also, okay, it's a good thing that they didn't go over here. I will further explain this in LMS, actually. Because I partially watched the footage. They charged and they got corruption damage, which doesn't matter because they're on 1 HP. I, I can't hit M1 for my life! But I get the kill. And now I realize that the footprint's butchered, so that's my auto sipper, which is a good thing, so I replace that. Alright, there are 2 Jane Does over here. I dodge the crystal pitch. I don't dodge that one. Alright, yeah, so, okay, you'll see this on certain rounds. When there's a footprint up there and there are survivors on the ramp, they realize the footprint's up there, so they gotta jump down. And normally what I do, I go on the ramp here, and I'm ready to cut them off here through this path I'm aligning with my cursor. And that's exactly what I do here. I get stunned here. I could not have parried because I was in my M1 animation. Decided to target this Jane Doe. The guest actually comes back and helps, or attempts to help. That's actually W teammate. I don't see that guest. I decided to switch them because they're on low HP. And I tried getting a zone off over here. I do zone, so I tried cutting them off here. If they would have started running over here, I would have cut them off here. But they just go into the zone, cornering them. As John Doe, you got to be like have the ability to corner survivors. I'll probably explain on my John Doe guide, but you can just watch how I do it. And they are dead. In like situations where the guest or somebody has a low amount of HP, you should probably like you gotta let your corruption damage do a lot of the dirty work. Cause yeah, it's only 8 damage when the survivor like just steps into it like one time, but that 8 damage they keep on stepping into it, they can accumulate. And right here, this is a perfect example. Right here with the Jane Doe, you can zone this area off with spikes like going over there, so they have to go to the left. I was probably thinking of doing that. I don't remember my exact thoughts, but they pre-run over here, so I cut them off and gain distance. They realize they're getting cut off and stop sprinting. They take the damage and they get. This is more of a free-form spike. I don't know what I was doing there. I guess I just wanted to improvise or something. Jane Doe got that. Yeah, they didn't really do anything. that didn't do nothing. Right, Jane Doe. They're giving Purify to Jane. And yet again, they're back here. They're cornered fundamentally. Because the footprint's there, this is their only way out. And this is like, okay. Jane Doe uses medkit, and because medkit takes super long, I just had to spike. And they die. Which is a good thing for me. Alright, these people keep on stepping into the digital footprints. What? And honestly, stepping into digital footprints from a long distance while John Doe's not in the chase can be a good play. Because I think it was a different video where an Elliot, this is Hell Lobby video. This Elliot was stepped into the footprint. If I angle my camera a specific way, that footprint right there, at the back, and the Elliot was very good. I still won the round though. So, and they were just playing around that, and I didn't have time to replace the footprint. And here, I'm just abusing this zone. I spike off of here, and whenever you're zoning like this, if they go if they go right, they go right. If they go left, they go left. It's an equal thing. So when zoning, I usually try to get some damage, and because they're zoned here, I have to go. I cut them off, and then I decide to leave the noob for LMS, which is a good play. As killer, this isn't like, discriminatory of like lower playtime people, but generally you want to try leaving people who you know will be good, or you'll win LMS for last. And this Jane Doe is basically cornered here. Okay, noob is just stepping into the footprint. They know I'm not gonna kill them, so might as well. I dodge the crystal. I still got stunned nonetheless because Jane Doe's really long lunge. Alright, I keep on pursuing though. Generally in chase, depending on like the stamina management of the killer, just depending on that, John Doe usually doesn't win exactly in chase scenarios. But look, they're going back up, and the footprint is there. I'm ready to cut them off, and I correctly predict that. I walk up, I try getting them, because you don't want to be on the floor. The floor, it just keeps them up there. And I got the kill, because that really hella dragged M1. Alright, we got 1 minute left of the clock. I have not been realizing that. We have to kill this other Jane Doe. And I am going to... Okay, I guess... And Noob actually healed up, so... I'm going to replace this footprint, and I'm going to 404 to know where the Jane is. My noob is over there. Jane is over here. They're drinking a cola. Generally, they drink a cola. Either you want to get, either you just want to like stay at a chase reset, or you want to just, you just want to make sure like they're somewhat cornered. You have to like cut them off in a way, just like I'm trying to do here. Or you just gotta try zoning them. You gotta try staying on the outer side of the grid. And look, they go over here. They're just cornered. Look at the two digital footprints. And because of that, I turn this into a closed zone with this. With the spikes. I need water. So I get here. Now, whenever you have resonance, you need to be aware of Jane's stun. You need to. You need to be able to prepare your parry. And I am exactly aware. I'm aware. They miss. And the shadow point's still up. I have a good chase start. I get their shadow point off. I go for a sniper here. Wait, there's 10 seconds left on the clock. So it really goes down here. Luckily, the good thing is, these spikes did not extend the loop here. I can still go through here. I can tell. So Jane Doe, same thing. I am able to cut them off. And now it goes to this 1M1. After this M1, I get the M1. I get the M1. That is the closest I have been to losing in my 94 killer losses. This noob uses Ghost Burger, I think, or just the highlights really short. I use 4 here to get their ESP, or ESP like extrasensory. Okay, I don't know, but I just get their aura read, and here you need to make sure that when you're spiking over here, that you do not leave a gap open, because it just creates a god loop. You're cooked. Noob is cornered. I am double backing here while they're cornered after M1ing, so I can cut them off, gain some distance. I don't know what that little double back was. I guess, they couldn't go through or something. I don't know. And then looking backwards, I got the kill. Or they're looking at me. Alright. Game 3. I actually recorded this one just earlier today, so I remember what I was thinking. I could describe my exact thought process ish. I was able to get in a good server with, average 60 to 70 ping. And I'm playing Living Legend because it's not broken now. Alright, Ultimate Assassin Grounds. This is more of like a free throw map. Looking at the team composition here, we have Elliot, we have N7. Elliot is our only support, actually. We have an N7, which means we gotta slab them out. With this footprint here, it's a very variable digital footprint spot, because I try to get like all 4 things here, but all 4 little like ways out. I think it's actually 3 here. You can tell because of this highlight, if you the killer can go through this, then survivors can too. But sometimes digital footprints put this placebo effect over that. It's like, oh no, digital footprint, I'm probably going to get it, hit by it, but it's fine. I'll be able to replace it. This digital footprint here, very good. But the survivor tried looping the waterfall here. They can't. And it also just, does a bit of digital footprint action. And this one here, I love this digital footprint spot. It prevents them from going to this house here, and it also just blocks this corridor, which is good. I see the N7, which means I target them immediately. Ellie is right there. I actually only noticed that now. And I was thinking, because I didn't think the N7 would go through here because of the slowness, but they did. They get hit by the clone. And I do hit the clone here because if the clone has less health than the N7, and both the clone and the N7 are in the M1 hitbox, and N7 gets hit over the clone. So the N7 gets hit here, I could tell, because of the 28 of the damage is further. Jane Doe here. Hit the clone again. And surprisingly, the actual N7 steps into the footprint. I'm saying that in voice here. And Elliot gets the heal. And I don't know why it keeps on healing them. I try turning on camera toggle for some reason, or I do something, and I'm questioning why this N7 isn't dead yet, but it's because the heal still went off. Now I'm turning on camera toggle here because I noticed that whenever I don't have camera toggle on, it always, I don't know, I get juked very, Much easier. This guest over here. This is a very, like, you know, you can spike this area off, make this an open zone. This just comes with map knowledge and everything. I try spiking, and I was thinking they were going to run over here, so I would get some damage, but they got zoned over here instead. I could have placed a footprint here, but I decided not to, even though they're getting cleared at an insane rate. The N7 is dead. Okay. This is another thing. Whenever you need to be very careful around stuns whenever both parries are off. Usually it's I only gauge 404 for this. You can use corrupt energy too. Depends on the type of person you are, and if you really want to be a sweat. I don't really care about corrupt energy parrying, but you need to be really careful around that. So I'm being a little wary. I get the cutoff here, and I somehow dodge that. Got the M1. I stop sprinting here, and I get stunned by Jit. We were all it's the look of confusion, and I don't know. I just need to recoup here, but I do see the Elliot here. So I place my footprint here. I only have one footprint. This isn't the worst footprint nor the best. It's more like a temporary footprint. And I 4-4 here because I think the Ellie would stay, but they pre-run over there. They heal the gas from all damage. That M1 doesn't hit. They gas charges, and they actually body block, which is with this gas it's better than most. But because Elliot is prime target, we gotta do that. This also comes from map knowledge here, but here, this area of slowness down in the bottom left, if you step over it, you don't get slowness. So you can go on this grass patch and you can use this area to, you know, take a better line. But just be a little wary when like taking like absolute perfect lines here. Get the kill on Elliot. Number 1 support is gone. Alright, I replaced my footprint here since I have downtime. All K footprints have been cleared off. I start to pursue Shedletsky. They're gonna stay over here. My original plan is to spike here and either them get zoned over here or them get zoned over there. But I get stunned before I could do anything. That's a big mistake there, kiddo. I'd say with my voice chat. I was thinking I was gonna hit the guest with this because they're body blocking, and then I dodged the block. So I start targeting them. This is when I realized that the trail just doesn't work. I mean, I'm realizing, like, I don't think I realized it, but the trail just isn't working. It's purely there for visuals. I got the kill on guest because of the very bad chase start. As a survivor, you want to get very good chase starts, and having a chase start like that, you being slowed, John Doe literally right on you, you're basically dead. Okay, over here. Okay, I'm thinking, should I go for this Jane Doe, who has a fair amount of playtime, I think 21 days, or the Shedletsky? I got the 404, so I know where they are, because, you know, visibility. You need visibility when you're spiking, so usually use 404 and corrupt at the same time. I don't know how you can trap here. I don't know. Maybe I could trap there, trying to, like, elongate it a little bit or something, but I just get some damage, which works out equally. I'm being wary of a stun because it's been long enough since they stunned me, I think. And also I have both abilities on cooldown. Here also, I think you can abuse this little elevation gap to take a better line. I've never seen anybody use this slowness thing before in a while. And over here, this is a very trappable area because, yeah, your spike's gonna extend all the way out to the end here. So I try getting the chase reset here. I use 404. And they start healing. While they do that, I try getting some damage, but they both Shedletsky's dodge. And I get stunned. My thought process is, okay, Shedletsky's going to run over here, so I'm going to cut them off by taking a good line here. And that happens just a little bit later than I expected. I dodged the stun, I guess. I don't remember what was happening there. Simple, you know, good line taking. Just gonna take good pathing. The other Shedletsky decides to clear that footprint. Just playing a bit of stamina stagger. This is a good example here. So sometimes if you think the survivor's gonna, like, you know, go a different way, you can just keep on walking to regenerate. And then just like here, because they're not using stamina, I'm still regenerating stamina. That's like equal on both of us. and I get the kill. And because I have downtime, I replace here. So, from previous rounds, you can learn, even when you're a survivor, you can like sort of learn the other survivors in their general skill level. Jane Doe, very good. Shadletsky, like no offense at all. I replace the footprint here because I have some downtime, and I go over here to replace the footprint. I don't really care now. I just place it here. That did a better job at trapping than the earlier footprint. I'm thinking that Jane Doe might be over there, but they are in reality right over here. And now we just gotta we gotta get them into a trap game, and they slowly start venturing to the house. So let's give us a stun. I take the opportunity to get some damage on them. And over here, Jane Doe misses their stun, and I just get some damage on them. What I probably should have done is I could have gotten damage, but just zoned. I just like invert this on the x-axis, I guess. So instead of like Spice going to my left, it would go to my right. I could use a speed to catch up to the Jane. Actually, not. And by the way, just be wary of this area. This is the most finicky part of any map in Forsaken. You get stuck here, you get stuck there, you get stuck everywhere. I know the footprint is there, so I can prematurely path. And, good scenario. When a survivor corners himself into a footprint that they literally don't know of, just regen to full stamina. The digital footprint kind of acts like a wall. Yeah, they step through it, they get out of the zone. But they also got slowness too for 10 seconds. And John Doe has speed 1. So it's like, John Doe has speed 3. They're basically cooked. And now this is when I realize my trail doesn't work for real, I think. And here, I'm being wary of like, not getting cut off on that because that's fatal. And I hit the M1 somehow. When you're on low stamina as survivor and killer, this is where a center stamina bar really goes into action. You have to be really careful. You have to be really careful you do not get to 0. The Shadletsky is over here. So I'm thinking here, they are on the left, so I'm going to trap them this way. Which is what I do. I use 4 error. I use corrupt energy, and I try trapping them. But they pre-run. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to get them, and they outrun the spikes. It's fine. They're over here. So I'm thinking now, okay, you know what? I'm going to just stall them here, get my abilities back up, zone them, kill them. But Shadletsky just pre-runs. Okay, cool. This is the funny part. I get an M1. Simple as that. Okay, they're over here. I don't know why they're going to the digital footprint. They miss a slash. I get an M1. They step through the footprint unscathed. I'm looking back in like question, and I got an M1, and I don't know how did that M1 not hit? Is it like that M1 looked like it should have hit, but Forsaken hitboxes. I'm getting juked here, and I get the kill. No, I need to watch that again. What is this? Why are you able to step through the footprint like that? Honestly, I don't care. I don't care if the guy was hacking. I don't care if it's the game. This is funny AF. So, I go here. Okay, so that's rewatching. I win the game. Round time. I'm and the round time is I don't look at it. And that basically, why is there so much more video? Oh yeah, I started typing in chat. Why are we stepping through digital footprints like that? Blah blah blah. That sums it up. If you watched to the end here, I thank you. And also tell me if I should do more videos like this. Should I analyze my own Survivor games? Should I make a Discord server where people can submit their own games or something? What should I do? Anyways, obligatory ask. Please like and subscribe. I ask of you to have the greatest day you possibly are feasible to do, whatever it is. Bye.